Just a second. My recording. Okay, cool. It started. Will, you want to go off on dev updates?
Sure. Right now we've kind of just been cleaning up the bugs, uh, just like tiny touch-ups. I have PR up updating the footer based off Daniel's fixes, which make it way more responsive. Uh, Pretty much just waiting for active projects, meet the team, landing view to be in mobile, and the mobile navigation, and then V1 designs will be complete.
I think other than that, I still have to meet with Fabrice on the password validation.
Yeah, that's version 2, but
Ah, okay.
um, yeah, we got to decide about that.
Okay.
How we want to handle it.
Will you have new tickets?
We'll have new tickets once the V1 designs are done.
Yeah, we've kind of I made like 10 tickets, and we kind of like tore up through all those, so we need some more soon.
Yeah, sweet. It's a good sign, if anything.
Yeah.
Yes, our development team is super speedy fast and it's amazing. I love it. It's impressive. Okay. So by the way, I am writing all these notes in Notion under a note called oneleif website design meeting notes and has a date. This might move to HackMD. That's just where I started this, by the way.
Could you move it to HackMD? Because I try to keep all those notes in our wiki, and Notion isn't public to everyone.
Okay, I can move it. Just after this meeting, because
If anything, I guess I could move it over to just and put it in our wiki.
doesn't matter. For during the meeting, I'll just take it in Notion and then we'll figure it out. All right, so everyone got Figma up?
Yeah, does anybody need a link to Figma, Max?
Oh, yes, mate. I don't have it, I don't think.
Sending it in the oneleif website channel.
And for those of you who've been here a while, we've had more members join, and they're just kind of like watching this meeting and learning from it and stuff like that. So that's why we're kind of pausing, being like, "Hey, does everyone have this?" So.
Hey, Fardine's here.
Hey.
Hello. It's been a
How's
while.
it going?
Good, good. I disappeared this week because my computer went bust. I spilled coffee all over it and it wasn't pretty. So I had to dig up an old laptop and boot up Linux on it. And finally here after catching up on all missed work for my other stuff. Glad I could make the meeting.
We're glad to have you.
Dude, by the way, I love Ainsley Harriott. The guy's the man.
So does everyone have Figma up?
I don't.
I sent the link in the oneleif website channel.
Okay.
You can just watch it in your browser for now, but then you could download it too. I don't know how long it takes to download, because I don't remember. To be honest. Look at all these. Oh,
Dude, this is so cool how you can see people's pointers. You control people with this. So
Alright, so I'm just gonna go ahead and let's dive into this week's progress. So we typically just go through the order of the pages. That's how we have been doing it. So far, Dean, I know you've been gone. Do you have anything to update about the landing page?
Not particularly. It's more on the design system, which I'm guessing we'll cover later.
Yeah. Okay. Since Daniel works a lot on this page, do you have anything for landing page updates?
Yeah. Well, I just put that new illustration in now for resources. So got the little guys reading books. And the other thing I worked on that I showed you guys, I think in the feedback channel, was that sort of typing effect for like the one leaf is a community little section under the main hero. So we have that working. The only thing in terms of the dev side is like the background. I haven't implemented like this wavy background just yet. I think we'll. I don't know if you guys like it and want to finalize it, but yeah, I guess we can.
Will this like do like waves? Like, will they move? Kind of like ebb and flow?
Uh,
Or what's the goal there?
So it would be static. The waves would just be an SVG, right?
yeah.
Uh, my question about it is right now we have the fixed width of the page at 1440. So if
Yeah.
it ever got larger than that, would it just end at the end of the page, or would we try to get it to be 100% width? I don't know. That might look weird. Yeah.
Yeah, for something like that, it'd have to be 100%. So it kind of breaks that grid or that content
Container type thing. Yeah.
container. Yeah, that's like around the whole page. So maybe that would have to break up into sections, which is also why I haven't implemented it. It requires a little bit of refactoring.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if we do something like that, then I think the effect should go full width. And I mean, we could plan to have something moving if we really want. That'll require a little bit more work. But I don't know. Is that something that seems interesting, or is that too many moving parts?
I think that might be too much.
The most basic version could be just a GIF for now.
Huh.
It's not the best, but it's like a quick hack around it if it's too much work on the development side.
I feel like will it look weird because we have that text like moving at all times, and then on top of something else that's moving? Would that just be like too much going on in one spot of the landing page?
Oh, are you talking about the wave moving as well?
Yeah, like that's what they're discussing.
Busy.
I think
I feel like that background would be fine by itself, and then the text, the texting effect.
the only thing I'd be worried about is having too many competing animations. It's just a lot of movement, in my opinion. It makes more sense if it's one or the other. But if I had to choose, it'd probably be the text that would be moving and animated rather than the background itself.
Yep. You can go in the feedback channel and see what it looks like now. There's a PR up for it, and it looks really good.
I think we're all pretty much in agreement there. Keep the waves static and the text do the little what's that called? Animation.
I like that shadow.
Yeah, I just added that. I mean, we could have something super subtle if we wanted to really play with that. I don't know. That'll take some experimentation.
I like that. Okay. Any more feedback for just like landing page stuff in general?
It looks great.
Yeah, agreed.
I agree too. Ooh, hello.
Yeah, looks good to
I
me.
just zoomed out when I didn't want to. All right, we're gonna move along. This is coming along. I'm excited. Also, resources is adorable, like the little sleeping pod pillar. So cute. Okay.
I'm definitely
Moving
guilty
on.
of sleeping in my school days.
Mm-hmm. I do. Okay, sorry. Hey team. Active projects. So, what I've done here is just a little bit of cleanup work and a little bit of exploration. So, this first guy, is a view without the learn more. This is if the detail page or each project doesn't end up happening in V1. So that's why there's no learn more button because it's just static. I'm just going to explain all these, then I'll kind of go into design stuff. So the second one includes the learn more button. This assumes that the pages are made for the, if you click on a project, what happens. I'm just going to call that a project detail page for consistency. And then mobile, ooh, hello, is over here. I did toy with some learn more buttons in mobile right here. So yeah, so I'm gonna go back and talk about what I really designed here. So I switched these buttons to blue. I don't know if that's correct. I think it is. Can someone design system-wise tell me?
Sorry, could you repeat that again?
Are those buttons supposed to be blue that join our Discord? Um,
Currently on the landing page, we have it the same color as the sign up in the top right.
Yeah, it should be primary green.
okay.
Yeah.
I do like the accent though, but
I was just trying
consistency.
to. I don't know. Someone changed it last week, and I was like, oh, okay, maybe it's supposed to be blue. So I don't. Tells you what I know. All right. So moving on. What I did here with the shadows, this is very subtle, but I used that blue behind them because I was checking out the design system. I do look at it sometimes. And I noticed that for color, blue is like the biggest one. So it's supposed to be the highest percentage. So I kind of want to implement that somewhere. So instead of a gray or black shadow behind these elements, it's a blue. You can kind of tell. I think it adds a bit more. I don't know. I don't want to say it's warmer because that doesn't make sense, but I feel like it adds something. Whoa, whoever did that, please don't. um, and then I did that to all these little cards, by the way. Any of them that you see on this like top. Um, I did a weird toy with color, which is probably just should be trashed, but that's kind of something I played with. This is interesting. I don't know if I did this or someone else, but a blue background and green text, that's interesting. But the more I look at this, I think just green tags and green text is probably just the cleanest. Because it's all matches. For mobile, I didn't really touch these. They already had blue backgrounds, but I did explore learn more buttons. And I'm thinking with mobile, I find the one where it's off to the right hand side a bit more pleasing. But I would like some feedback on where to put the learn more button on mobile.
I prefer it off to the right.
Same.
Ditto.
Yeah, that
Me
looks
too.
good.
All right, so that's the winner. So basically, that's what I like have for cards, and I'm feeling pretty good about it. Except, I mean, I need to change this guy back. But any feedback or thoughts on this stuff?
I think it looks like good.
Yeah, and I do like the blue shadow. I think that definitely follows the intent of like how we should use blue. That's why I've been kind of using that light blue for all of the backgrounds for all of the illustrations. So yeah, fits nicely.
Yep. I third that as well.
So at this point, could we say this is a concrete design and Dev can start working on it?
I'm gonna go with yes. The only thing I need to do is add this guy in a sort of a mock-up, but that's basically what that's gonna look like. As far as mobile with the learn more.
So are we waiting to put the learn more if active projects? I guess we can add it now and then always take it out if we decide the detailed view isn't going to be in version 1.
Mm-hmm.
Susie, heads up, when other people are talking, there's an echo coming through your end.
Oh,
But yeah, if the learn more in the bottom right is what we're going with, then we can get started.
Yep, that's kind of the plan. So yeah, I would say it's good for development. This stuff is.
Sweet.
Just letting you guys know for next week, or actually I'll dive into that later. I don't want to eat up time with her talking about that. All right. Moving on. So the next one, sign up, login. That is Priscilla. I will mute myself so I'm not doing the echo thing.
Heyo. So, from 2 weeks ago, she kind of just took that form from contact us and kind of just threw it in here.
Priscilla,
Can-
could you get closer to your mic?
Oh, sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yep.
Yeah, I couldn't decide if I'd like it flush to the right or like centered. And then I just kind of included that sign up with Google and GitHub buttons on top as well. I think these were just the 4 main inputs that we needed. And then on the bottom, kind of put kind of like the error message if their password didn't meet like the requirements, and thought that maybe it would show up like this, where it kind of just popped up on the bottom, or it could be kind of like a little tag on the side. Wasn't sure which one would be better.
I like the
So,
idea of a tooltip because I feel like it doesn't push things down as much.
yeah. And then I thought once they started changing their password, maybe whatever one they met could turn green. I don't know about that, but I mean, we only have like 3 requirements currently. And then, so that's sign up. And then if they wanted to log in, it would more or less be the same thing, except there would only be like 2 inputs. I thought of adding like the forgot password link and the remember me here as well. The only thing I haven't figured out is if they put the wrong password, should again have the error message on the bottom where it would push the things down, or just have it as like the little tag again. And then I kind of started with a forgot password page where I'm guessing we would just ask for their email and we would send like a reset password link. So I just kind of started on these 2, like literally 5 minutes ago.
So I think we can handle like errors like above with the invalid password the same way that you're doing there, because that's how we handle it on the contact view. So that's for consistency. But if we're showing requirements, I think a tooltip would be nice personally, but
Mm-hmm.
we can decide on that.
Yep.
Good job for this week. One thing, I feel like we need like a join oneleif or sign up or some sort of header text
Mm-hmm.
on this page. I think this red border is very helpful for like drawing your eye in and knowing where to look. But I do agree that we need some sort of messaging with that as well. Personally, I feel like putting it right under the aired field makes the most sense, just because that's where they messed up or whatever. Yeah, so something kind of like this one is really, I feel like that's really effective, error messaging and stuff. Other than that, I feel like this is really clean. Oh, sorry, I had a notification pop up. And I feel like the spacing is correct too. So those are my things for that. I'm thinking this might make more sense, kind of where you have the art on one side and this on the, like they're splitting right and left, as opposed to centered.
Is
Get
the
more
reason for having
sense.
multiple Google buttons just to decide which one to go with?
Yeah, I wasn't
Okay.
sure which one to go with, because I've seen 2 variations of it everywhere.
Does GitHub do that too with the outlined and the icon?
For GitHub, they actually use the different logo, but it's the same kind of style.
Gotcha. Let's get other people's opinions because I'm pretty open to either of those.
I think the Google on white is actually more in line with their brand guidelines.
Mm-hmm.
I would probably maybe shift it across so this block lines up here. I think that's just like a personal thing though. or at least there's like more of a split where it comes to like one side being illustration, the other side being sign up / login. And maybe increase the size of this.
Move this over.
On the note of segmentation too, usually signups like this are multi-step with having partner sign in or like external service sign in versus having the form completely at the first step itself. So usually you'll see something like name and email possibly, and then the buttons, but then the password would be dependent on you choosing the form rather than using a service sign in. So that's what's typically seen. I don't know if it'd be too confusing to have a full form here, but that's something to probably consider as well.
Mm-hmm.
Usually the partner sign-in buttons are also at the bottom because I think it's meant to encourage more native account creation, but I could be mistaken on that. That's just more of an opinion, an assumption too.
On Behance is at the bottom.
Yes, I have a few that were on the top actually, but I don't like. It sounded like that we wanted more people to connect like their GitHub and Google, which is why I put it on the top instead.
Yeah, could we get some let's see, feedback? Do we want users to more or less sign up with their GitHub and Google accounts more than like us? What are our thoughts on that?
I feel like from a development side, it doesn't really matter. It would be nice for them to do it straight away with the GitHub, since we could just pull the metrics, since that's something we want to do in version 2. But as long as like they connect their GitHub at any point, that would be fine also.
I agree. I don't think it's about what we want to push them to do. We just want to give them the options. But yeah, like Will said, for like dashboard metrics and whatnot, it'd be really nice to have their GitHub linked.
And also, I mean, they would also realize that down the line, though, if they see other people have it, then they have the ability to then connect their GitHub to display those metrics.
Okay. I feel like with all that being said, maybe we should keep the Google and GitHub links at the top just because we do want to focus users more towards doing that action as opposed to the other ways to sign up.
Mm-hmm.
How did you guys feel about having sign up and header text? Was that well received, or is that just like me in my head thinking that?
Sign up.
No, I can have it. Oh, sorry, that's not supposed to drop in the middle. Just an inspiration. Carry on.
Oh, I didn't hear what she said.
Oh, the sign up header text. Whether or not we need it or not.
That's y'all's call, but
I think it'd be helpful to distinguish between like login and the sign up page. I think maybe the other thing missing is maybe a link between the two on each respective page. If like the user clicks on one, but they're actually like on the wrong page.
Oh, like down here, maybe near the sign up button saying login or
Yeah,
account
like,
login. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Like I already have an account. Go to login or something, right?
Yep.
I totally agree. And then are you guys yeah, that's nice. You guys in agreement with the right and left hand sides then too, where they're kind of just like images on left, form is on the right?
I mean, that's how we've been doing it on the other pages.
Yeah, I don't think that's too much of a problem. It's more so the links that Daniel mentioned and just making them just providing them with the options to recover password, log in, and sign up depending on whether it's service or creating a native account.
Okay. And then as far as the error messaging, were we in agreement with having like the messaging under the input box?
So
And
if
then-
it's requirements, I would say have it in the tooltip to the right, and if it's an error, because those requirements are different than an error.
That's a good point. Shape of the box, the kind of arrowy box, or more of the just like a rectangle?
I'd go for something more of a tooltip.
Like a toast almost.
One sec, Daniel's making something.
Yeah, like what Daniel's doing.
Like something just like that.
So basically what Priscilla had, just a little softer maybe, like rounded corners.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and like a little carrot thingy.
Yeah.
Okay, that's not a major change. I agree. I feel like that's a bit more kind of just goes with our styling. So yeah. Anything else for designs here?
Only other thing I would call out is maybe make the login buttons like the Google and the GitHub same width as like the input fields, or shrink down the input fields just so like the whole kind of like column feels in line and neater.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Sorry, I was typing. I didn't want you guys hearing my click clacking. All right. Page not found is done. Yay. Contact us. That is. Yeah, we finished that. Sorry. Meet the team. Ryan, do you want to take it away?
Yeah, sorry. Okay. You can all see why I needed your faces now. So I've just been playing around with, I guess, how to do the cards, just like experimenting more than anything else. And this is where I'm at the moment. This one here. And I think I also have like a mobile view around here somewhere.
To the left. Oh.
Thank you. Yep. I thought I'd flesh that out a bit more, but I haven't. Okay, cool. Yeah, so it's mainly this one here and this one here.
So are we gonna want these cards to like have the same outlines as the active projects ones?
Yeah, so I'm gonna have to switch that.
But otherwise, I like the setup. I had a question more about the map.
Yeah.
Sammy, I don't know where you're at with development, and I know we were talking about doing that initial map for version 1. To me, it kind of doesn't make sense to put all this work in there. Would it be possible to like do like the Crunchyroll one and have an SVG with the filled in countries and pinpoints like that?
Yeah, I think that's probably easier. I stopped work on it because we weren't sure which direction we were taking it.
Yeah,
So we
I
could
mean,
probably just use some online tool to make a map like this, take a screenshot of it, and put it in here.
yeah, I feel like if we're gonna put all that work in, we should just do it straight for the version 2 one.
Yeah, agreed. So I'll get just like I'll message everybody for their locations, and I'll find some tool to make a map like this for us.
And that's only if you guys want to share it.
Yeah.
That's fine by me. Any questions, feedback, opinions?
Yeah. I feel like placement is good here. Just adding the styling from the active page so it kind of matches that.
Cool.
Other than that, like I agree, like this should be circular, the pictures. And yeah, like the placement's fine. I think it's just adding the styling from that page.
Okay, cool.
Mhm.
Let me actually grab one.
It looks amazing.
Yeah.
Thanks. So, Susie, if I grab your the card that you currently have on mobile, and I'll just use that. This one?
The one below it.
Oh, sorry, this one. Cool. Right then, I'll just grab this one, and then I'll use that one.
And then you might need to place your elements slightly differently because I feel like you have different requirements a little bit, but the styling.
Sorry, could you say that again?
Yeah, I feel like you might need to place things a little bit different places, especially because like the image might be more important on a profile versus a project.
Yeah.
But other than that, like the other elements should match, but placement and sizing might be slightly different.
Cool.
Yeah, I'd say with the updated card, we should be ready.
I have a suggestion on for the content for Meet the Team.
Cool.
Where it says we don't judge, I think it would be better if we put something along the lines of like we don't judge regardless of race, creed, color, or gender.
We could talk about
That
the copy in a separate meeting because that was just kind of what I put in as
Okay.
placeholder.
Sabian, maybe that's part of our root meeting.
Yeah, and then we can bring whoever
Gotcha.
wants to talk about that. Good
Cool.
recommendation though, Cody.
I guess that's me done then. Once I've, unless there's anything else.
I had a question about the join our Discord button in relation to the copy. I guess I got to look at the other views, but it seems like there's more white space, unless I'm just remembering wrong.
Possibly. I'm not sure. It's been a really long time since I've touched this area. It's
Eh,
mainly the cards that it's mainly just the cards I've been playing with.
Yeah, it looks good.
Okay.
Yeah, it lines up with the map.
Okay, cool. All right.
Yeah.
Oh, and I'll pull this up, this bit, once I jump into the next version.
Yeah, how many cards do we want to display per? I guess that's discussion for version 2, kind of pretty static right now, but we'll have to discuss how many cards we want to have on a page, unless we do an infinite scroll.
For the Meet the Team, or is this for active projects?
I guess in
Both.
general,
Oh, okay.
that's just more of a functionality discussion.
Let me just quickly see active projects we've got.
Well, I definitely want the cards to be responsive to the size of the device. But as far as like continued scrolling or whatever it's called, infinite scroll, or a set limit, I don't have strong opinions either way. I would have to know more of the development limits of that, I think.
So what's next?
All right. I didn't know if anyone had anything else to say about that. Okay. Let's start talking. Okay, we have to go through Hannah. Sorry, my bad. Where is it? Where is it? Oh, there it is. It's all the way over here. Oh, hello, girlfriend. Sabi might want to timestamp this because we're going through his side. Okay, so it looks like we got a logo and a menu button. All right. Okay, so look, she has a lot of stuff in here. Holy crap. Oh, interesting. Oh my goodness, there's so much. Okay, this is really neat. just if it was like black and white. Personally, that's really neat to me. Like, dislike. Oh, that's cool. So if you guys don't know, Hannah's a new designer. We added her last week, Easter week, when we had a little vacay. I tasked her out with mobile navigation, because she's had a lot of mobile experience, and that's kind of something we needed. And I think she'll be a good resource for when we start adding mobile designs on some of these pages. You can kind of message her and be like, yo, what do you think? But for now, this is where I've kind of placed her. Oh my goodness. Thoughts, opinions, you guys. There's so much here.
I like Route 3 a lot, personally.
Is that this one? No, hold on.
This one over here.
Oh, okay, sorry. Okay. Yeah, that's nice and clean. I like 2. I like what she's done with the join one leaf button, but I think probably 3 makes more sense. I like the coloring on 2 as well.
The only thing with 3 I'd point out for this is that with a nav element like that with a chevron at the end, you typically expect transitional. You expect a swift slide transition into the next element or page. So, for example, if you click projects, it should hypothetically pull out the projects page with a slide to left.
Are you talking about the arrow? Because I thought that was an accordion.
It's a chevron. It's typically called a chevron, but yeah, that's typically what's seen with chevron based nav elements, because the concept is that when you have something like that, you expect the transition to the next element to be within the same window. But since a mobile is pretty static in terms of the viewport already, it's more so how swift it is, and you want it to be a very fast transition into the next page. So it's less of an expand collapse thing, and it's more of like a slide to left next page.
Okay, because those headers are the same as the ones on the footer, and those headers aren't links. They like would just house the links. So that's why I thought it was an accordion.
I don't think we need it. Because the way I'm looking at this, if I were to press the projects, it would just load the projects page instead of it turning into a drop down or anything like that.
Yeah, I think it can be confusing because of the chevron itself. People might expect it to expand or collapse, depending on their previous behaviors with it. Speaking to Raya's point about number 2, though, I really like number 2, and it could be interesting to see it without the green backdrop. So if it had just the white and black font, and then selecting something would change the press state to green, or highlight the section entirely. So I think it's well done in terms of just having all the links consolidated in one spot, and making it pretty apparent that the page that they're on is just a transitional page. But I feel like the green's a bit too much.
I agree with you, Fardine, that I think Route 2 matches a lot of what we have going on this tab, and it's just like making it mobile. And the green might just be a little bit too stark difference compared to what we have going on elsewhere. So I agree. I would want to see this in a white and black version. The other, I also kind of want to see it where it's not centered. You guys know me. I would love to see these like left aligned and kind of like one of these other ones, but then like having those icons at the bottom. I don't know if this will like just not. I just want to see that. I don't know about anyone else, but and I'm thinking the white background with black text is just more fitting. But I am I think this button here is kind of effective. The join oneleif or whatever. I can't. I feel like that might be an effective call to action.
You say it might be effective or ineffective?
Effective.
Yeah, me too. I agree.
Anyone else have thoughts on these designs?
I hadn't
Would
thought
that
about the. Go for it, Will.
I was just wondering, would that join oneleif take them to a sign up page or to our Discord?
It's a good question.
Mm,
Maybe that should be a login sign up button then.
yeah.
For the way I'm reading that, I feel like that would probably be a Discord thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because when I think about the desktop pages, we haven't like if this is going to be a mobile view, I don't think it would make sense for the language to change. Actually, hold on, bear with me one moment. I actually need to see what the language is currently. Okay, yeah. So we've got join our Discord, and then I guess that probably should say join our Discord as well, unless we change the language on desktop to join oneleif instead of it just being Discord, and then instead of it saying Discord, but you are joining the Discord, if that makes sense.
How'd you change the colors?
Oh, it's an image, I think.
I put it like a color overlay thingy.
Oh, okay.
I almost feel like we need. Sorry, Suze. I almost feel like we need some sort of like intermediary page in between the actual login sign up and like the join oneleif button that like says, here's what we use for communication, or basically saying like why we use Discord and whatnot, or some. I don't know. I just feel like some information is missing that people might get confused on what we are and how they can get in contact with us.
I'm thinking that join oneleif should just turn into a login sign up type button. Just that's kind of my first thought there, but any other thoughts on these?
Are we gonna just keep asking people to join our Discord in the long run as well?
No, the strategy will be for at least version 1, since it's static, that can be join the Discord. But once it gets to version 2, we're really going to want people to have people sign up for the oneleif website, and shift more of the post and everything onto the website, and the Discord will just be kind of for communication.
I do think it's a step in the right direction. It looks good. All of them do.
All right. Good job, Hannah. Even though you're not here, still listen to this later. That is the Figma. So I think it'll be a good time to go over to the Notion. Oh, here I am. I'll let everyone get there real quick. And we'll start talking about the design system.
Ooh, I'm gonna need to send a link, aren't I?
Probably.
You're gonna have to grant access, I think.
Oh crap.
There's a way to share public links.
What's that?
There's a way to share a public link for Notion.
Max, let me know if that link works.
Where did you post it?
oneleif
On the
website.
Okay. Looks like I'm in.
Sweet.
Looks like I'm in the design system.
All right, everyone in? Everyone in? I'm gonna take that as a yes. Fardeen, do you wanna start going over design system?
Someone's echoing. I'm not
Rhea.
sure who.
He muted himself.
I should have actually pointed it out, but the design system changes I've made are on Figma actually, not on Notion.
Shoot. All right, everyone.
But it seems like everyone else is still on Figma, so if you could just snap to me, that'd be great. Yeah, so I haven't been able to do too much this week, but it seems like Daniel went ahead and actually made it much easier for us with the breakpoints. Daniel, if you want to take over for this part quickly.
Yeah, so these are the breakpoints that we have in the code. They reflect that. So ideally, when you're designing, you want to include your layouts on each of these screens so that the devs will understand like what happens at each breakpoint and kind of what needs to change. Yeah, it's just the easy way, and it also it's really helpful for designers to kind of understand like what are the limitations of your layouts, like sort of the edge cases that we need to design for.
Yeah, so kind of going off what Daniel said, to do design or create new designs or update your old designs, do your best to convert it to this frame instead of using the native framing tool that Figma has. Since, as Daniel mentioned, these are the layouts that we will be using for pretty much all our designs. Thanks, Daniel. Moving on to the side, buttons and links. These are being standardized. So designers, you can take some of the components here and use them in your designs. It should be relatively easy if you just copy it. And just make changes on the child component. I've also laid out instructions on how to use some of these, just to make it easier for you to understand when to use certain buttons and when to not use certain buttons. I will be putting in more instructions and more button types as well. For example, I haven't made a disclosure button yet, or a large button sign, or I noticed an outline button on Priscilla's design, so I have to make up a style for that as well. So just be wary of when you're using those buttons. Regarding buttons versus links, when you're designing, just make sure that you understand when to use either one. Buttons are meant for actions, so you're going to typically see them with decision making or on things like cards. For example, Priscilla's sign up form is a good example of when buttons should be used. Links, on the other hand, are to take them to another part of the website or an external link to another page on an external service or an external website. If you ever have any confusion about that, just ping one of us and we'll be able to hopefully elaborate on that. But that's pretty much it for buttons and links. Any questions about this stuff?
So for the primary button, for example, should we, on the development side, have these actions for hover and when it's clicked?
Yeah, so pressed is just an overlay. It's not going to completely change into that button type. It's just to denote the press state. But yeah, those should be ideally coded in.
Okay.
So if you want to get started on the CSS styling, feel free to go rampant on it.
Great work. Did you start on fields then? Is that just?
I think that's someone else, but I'll get on that. So fields and selectors, and I think we mentioned tooltips. So those three are what I'm going to tackle next and get done.
Random question. I built the footer components on like components page. Should we move everything over to the design systems page?
Yeah, I went ahead and did that. I just left it. I left the components page there for whoever made it to decide if you wanted to keep it or not. But yeah, I guess it's up to you. I did copy over everything to design system though, just to keep it consolidated.
Okay, yeah, we should definitely consolidate.
but yeah, that's pretty much it from
Cool.
design system on my end.
I know I've been working on a bill. It's not done yet. It keeps on looking uglier the more I work on it, so I try to like take breaks from it. It is coming, I promise. Rounded corners is like a whole new ball game, let me tell you. I think that's all I really have left as far as design system tasks go, though.
So I did want to point out that we have the dev.oneleif.com, which is version 1 in development. If you guys ever want to go to that and view what you worked on and let us know if you see anything that looks wrong or any bugs you can point out, that would be awesome, especially coming from the view of the person who designed it.
Yay, the audit prize.
Will do.
Let me write a few more notes. Sorry, I just need to make sure they're in here. All right, so let's start talking about next week's task. So we're already kind of on and stuff. So you said you'd be working on fields, tooltips, and selectors for the design system. Great,
Yep.
love it.
Did anyone else have any requests on the design sides for anything that needs standardization, or that you'd rather not design yourself in terms of components? Nope. All right. Well, yeah, those three. If there is anything that you want and you'd rather not spend time designing, just let me know, and I'll add it to the backlog of design system components if it's not already there, so I can prioritize it and get it done for you.
Did you plan on having cards in that?
Cards, right now Susie's tackling it, so I don't want to take over it just yet. But Susie, once you're done, and if you want me to standardize it and write up instructions and documentation for it, I can take over then.
Cards for active projects are done. Yeah, you can start adding them. If there's anything like slightly pixelated, just fix it and let me know. I try to make it right, but you know, things aren't perfect always.
No worries. I'll start writing up the use cases and instructions for them then.
Okay. I'm gonna add that to your next week task. I'm adding active project. Yes. All right. And then as far as landing page mobile, Guardian, do you want to work on that? Otherwise, I could really hand that like to Hannah or something and have her try it.
Yeah, sure. I think I've been delaying it long enough at this point. If Hannah's available and she's interested in taking it, then by all means. I'd still like to stay on the desktop version though, so hopefully I'll touch base with Daniel soon and we can get that done.
Okay. And I'll talk to her and ask her if she's interested. Otherwise, I could probably help with that too. So cool. Yeah, again, really appreciating the work. Like that can be your top priority. That's fine. Going into me for next week. So my cards are done. Yay. So now I'm gonna start focusing on the detail page. So what happens when you click into a active project? I did start that a long time ago and I kind of abandoned it. But now I can get back into that. So that is what I'm gonna focus on. Let's see who's next. Priscilla, we chatted about adding the header text at the top. And just kind of, these are great, and just solidifying the design. So image on the left, form on the right. Link to login and sign up buttons on each page. So you can always access each one. The more rounded messaging, kind of like what Daniel created. And then the sign up with Google GitHub buttons matching the sizing of oopsies, I messed. The sizing of like the sign up buttons. I think that's all we've basically covered. So like, yeah, these got super far, so it's literally just cleanup work now. Who's next? Contact us. Meet the team. This is Raya. So Raya for next week. By the way, all this is typed up in Notion and likely get over to Hacken. And I'll add this all to Trello too. For Raya, start implementing the styling for projects cards. But then again, making them work for the profile purpose. So there might be some slight differences there. And then there is a honk outside my apartment. That was weird. And then starting on designs of the member detail page, kind of like what I'm doing right now, or gonna start doing, is making that when you click on a card, just starting that, I think would
Cool.
be good. Okay, and then that covers for Hannah. We talked about basically number 2 was route 2 was our top pick for like everyone. So exploring that one in black and white. And also exploring with like all the nav elements being left aligned. And also this is a lot of exploration, isn't it? Exploring when you click on a link, it turning green. I don't know. Just so we can kind of see those. And then also I'll ask her about the landing page mobile stuff. And then Daniel, what do you have? Let's see, what do you have left to design here? I'm trying to think. You got active projects done.
Seems like we need an SVG for the sign up. But we were at a point where we should schedule a meeting for to discuss version 2.
I think that's gonna be next week after design. We can all sit down and discuss that.
I'll make a note to myself to start working on a plan for that, because I can send out, I forget what it's called, one to meet, one of those, and make sure it's a time where almost all of us can be there. Which again, probably on a Sunday, but you know, if some other day works better, that's fine too. And that way you can really discuss V2, and also discuss profile setup, because that's going to be the next big thing too.
Hey, Daniel, are we gonna have? Because you mentioned before having an image made for the link preview for the website. If not, we can just go with like one of the logos or something. But I was just wondering if you're gonna work on that.
Oh yeah, I can work on that.
If you could make, I think the requirement is having 120 pixels by 120 pixels. That's for the Twitter card. So I don't.
Well, do we want to go with the larger card style? You can
I guess
specify
that's
in the
something we need
metadata.
to discuss too. It's pretty. I mean, it's easy to implement in the meta tags. So it's whatever you feel like doing for the design.
Yeah, I can whip up something. Probably the larger card makes sense, since why not? So.
Okay, so for Daniel, I have for you image for linked cards, and then image for sign in, sign up. Is that what we had?
We should probably get some copy going for that too, because I mean, it's the best way if we're sharing a link to let people know what oneleif is.
Also for Daniel, I'm just gonna say any lasting landing page work that you have. Copy, all the roots, we'll discuss that.
Are you writing that down on your notes, Suze?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I didn't know if I needed to.
Roots need to discuss copy. All right. One last thing is, so you guys, I got a mentee this week. I'm a mentor now. And so far it's been pretty like great. It's been like I have a great mentee that's like quick at responding, and I feel terrible. So again, if anyone asks you, hey, will you mentor? Be really open to that. What's it called? Apprenticeship. That's what they're called. Apprentices. We have a slew of them. Be nice to them.
So I have a list of people who have requested an apprenticeship, but what we're thinking is basically we want to pair up each one of them individually with someone from the core team. So for those of you that are interested in having them be one of your mentees, just let me know, and I will try and pair you guys up.
And this is also like it's like not required, but I
Yeah.
would say it's been a learning experience. So, yeah, just let Sabian know. Send him out a message. Yeah, that's all I have. Does anyone else have anything else they want to bring up or questions, issues, thoughts?
New shade of colors for anyone who's actually interested. The functional colors have a new variant that's the lightest right now. That's mostly used for click states for anyone who wants to check it out.
That sounds awesome. I love all your guys' color work. Great job on that. All right, you guys. I will be updating the Trello. If not today, tomorrow. You guys know how. I'll send out a big. I'll peep you guys and let you know when I update that. And we'll keep you guys updated about some meeting about V2. And we'll try to find a time for us to meet. So, thanks for coming, everyone. You're doing great.
Thank you.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye, y'all.
See you guys.
See ya.
Bye.
So developers,
Hi, team.
is there anything else we need to talk about this week, or is it more V2 stuff that we need to chit chat about?
Version 2.
Okay, that's what I figured. So yeah, that stuff will. Let's plan on doing all that next week when we have everybody, and we'll just do a giant brainstorming session, plan everything out.
Yeah. All right. I've been writing stuff down, thoughts that like we'll need to cover. Really, for version 1 that's left is active projects and meet the team look like it's at a good state to start development. At least active projects, definitely.
Yep.
We have all the functionality done with the overlay that we'll need. Right. So it seems like after those designs are in, it's all just going to be styling. Yeah, everything looks good.
Sweet.
I am confused about the design system clicks. I was confused by that.
Design system.
What
clicks.
part of it?
The buttons. So, like looking at the primary, that's the resting. Then this is if I hover, and then like if I just have a click, it'll look like this.
Like while
I
you're still
just
holding
mixed it
down.
out of Figma, so let me open it again.
Like if I hold down on it, the button will look like this.
Where we at? Where we at?
We're on the
Design systems view.
on Figma, yeah.
Oh, here we go. It's called equals equals now. Who did that?
Oh,
I'm gonna change that. Design. There we go. Okay, so press, that's when you click on it. Hover is when you're hovering. Resting, what?
all right. Then we'll have to update the functionality of landing view and contact page. I mean, that'll just be on the button itself. Also, I guess Fardine left, but could we get a button for disabled?
Yeah. We'll probably need that at some point.
Because we have it on the contact us view. We have the primary button disabled.
What do you need, sorry?
Design system for disabled button.
Like on
Okay, I'll jot that down.
Sweet.
Yeah, we'll need to add. I'll make a ticket.
Okay.
To add the functionality to the buttons and links. But otherwise, nothing really on the development side.
Perfect. Well then, meeting adjourned.